of our beach. Got his board on, ready to go, knee deep water, getting ready to dive the kite. Diving the kite, there it goes. Thanks, Greg. That was a great narrative of me taking off. Now, I'm going to show you some of my spills and thrills, some of my wipeouts. These are only the ones that I got on video. I assure you there are many, many more. And as bad as some of them look, they can be a lot worse. Later in the video I'll show you an example, a step-by-step frame breakdown. This is my new surfboard, or a directional board for light wind and other types of tricks. Problem is, it's a lot harder to turn because you have to switch your feet, and I'm still not comfortable with it. Good thing about South Padre Island is it's so shallow. It's easy to stand up in many places and get your footing. There's a little section where Greg and I were actually close enough together, and he was just in front of me. He looks far away on video, especially with the GoPro, but he was probably 20 feet away. And then we were just cruising along, and pretty soon he decides it's time to turn around and go back. I wasn't sure if he knew I was there or not, so I had to yell out and make sure that he didn't get tangled up in my kite. So I say, I ended up stopping, and there was no problem. Now I've got my Nikon camera mounted on the center strut inside the kite, and it's looking down, which is a very neat perspective. Some things you don't see when you're at water level, like how shallow it is and all the car tracks from when the water or the tide must have been really low at some point. I'm about to do a maneuver that is really easy for snowboarders. It's called riding switch, or going toe side. I edited the video here to rotate the camera because it rotates with the kite, and I switch back and forth here to my heel side. It's much more normal. Now I'm on my twin tip, which is what the majority of kiteboarders use. Very basic board and easy to use because your feet are strapped on, just like small bindings. There's a light wind day and it was blowing offshore, and I was just using that kite right there. That's Greg's 14 square meter. I have a camera mounted on the bridle line about 5 feet away. This is one of my favorite shots. It shows close-up of everything head to toe. Good action, and when you're ready you can smile and we can see how much fun it is to go flying a kite. That's Greg having fun. His hair is still dry. That's because we can start off without going through the surf, and it's shallow. You can stand up to get started. Just made a turn and he's going the other direction now. in the background is our beach. And wind died, kite got a little squirrely, and Greg lost control. Wasn't bad, kept the kite in the air, which is major priority. Second thing is to keep your feet on the board so you can get it going again quickly. If you lose your board, it usually means you go downwind and the board doesn't drift to you because you are getting pulled downwind with the kite. It's always a bonus to keep the kite on your feet. You grab it as soon as you can and get everything back in control. There's another kite boarder that just went by, upwind of Greg. He's looking for a turn, and wind died again. It got too slow. It's not like a boat where you can float. Smile and wave. That's how much fun it is. Got little spots on the lens of the camera because it got wet. And unfortunately, there's a spot right in front of his nose. There was two graphs, one of them showing the wind and a GPS track. Now here's what I was talking about earlier. This is a really windy day. I launched my 9 square meter, and watch right here how slack the line is going to my stomach. That got slack. That meant the kite was falling, so I started backpedaling, trying to take up that slack. And then as the kite's falling, it gets hit by another gust of wind and launches me. I got jerked off the water by about 4 feet. As I come down, I slipped and pushed the booty of my toe through the booty. Now I can see the same thing in real time. This is the video that I took those clips out of. See how I'm moving around trying to keep the kite in position. There goes slack and jerks me once and twice. And now I'm wondering, what the hell happened? I don't feel safe, and I feel like I better collect my thoughts and organize my gear right. Here's another shot with a different camera in the bridle. Unfortunately, it wasn't properly secured around the lines, so it's not a good video, but I took as many stills out of the video and created a whatever you call it, slideshow. Again, you can see how I got launched, and I started running in the air trying to anticipate the landing. But I got dropped pretty hard and slid around in about ankle deep water. Fortunately, nothing was broken or hurt except my booty. The kite never came out of the sky, and then just a matter of getting everything back under control. It's super gusty right now, at least 35, and cold. We're watching the temperature in town was 43 degrees plus the wind chill factor. I need a thicker wetsuit. Notice that Greg is in the top right corner. He's starting to run towards me because he realizes something was wrong and wants to know if I want to bring the kite down. Eventually, I figured out the best place to land the kite, so we talked about starting over and waiting for the wind to settle down. It was still a good day. We got about 36 miles after I cleaned my shorts. I didn't know what happened until I watched this video, and I learned a very valuable lesson, which is to never fly the kite straight over my head. It's something somebody told me over a year ago, and now I thoroughly understand why and how it happens. Lesson to you all: fly the kite outside of the 12 o'clock position and be ready to punch out. This is a day later when it settled down. Right now I'm doing a jump. Notice there's no white water underneath the board, and then the landing. After a dozen really good days on the water, I'm starting to learn more of those tricks that make this sport so appealing. And right here, transition from port to starboard. A really good turn that takes some practice. That white water there is Greg's wake. He just went over the top of me, or I went behind him. And again, with these GoPro cameras, he was actually quite a bit closer. And we're sailing away from each other. Here comes a couple of jumps. Watch the white water. It's really cool because when you do it good, you land really soft. Here's the last day, and Greg was standing in the water in about thigh deep, shivering cold, and I'm making a run, showing off, just like the professionals do. That's the money shot.
Yeehaw!